table with like fellow activists out there. And but in light of World Albinism Day, we just want to talk about the different issues, the stigmas around it, the myths around albinism. We've heard it all. Like what we call speaking demand for witchcraft and rituals. We've heard it all, and we're going to talk about our beautiful, our gorgeous, talented, amazing sisters about what they have experienced, what they have faced in a day growing up to this point, how their mental health has been affected as a result of this, and what their coping mechanism was, what gave them that strength and confidence, and just rooted and established their confidence in who they are regardless of what people say. So these lovely ladies, they're going to tell us about themselves, their names, where they're from, what they do, their interests, and all of that.
Hi guys, my name is Rosaline Joseph, and I'm an activist when it comes to albinism, and not just because I'm concerned with albinism, but because I have direct experiences when it comes to stigma and discrimination. And also by profession, I am a board member for the National Youth Council, and I also sat on the executive committee for Commonwealth for Youth and Children with Disability. So also disability is my favorite specialization right now. And yeah, I studied public management, and I'm a political science graduate.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Dr. Lu, and I'm actually a student at IUM, studying education, and I'm also an activist for young girls with albinism. Actually, my passion is just there with young girls to raise awareness on them, on to believe, and actually believing on them, in themselves, and being the first version of who they are. That's actually the whole thing that I want to impact on all the young girls that are living with albinism.
So we just going to have a conversation, and I'm just curious as a person, really. So if there are some questions you feel comfortable answering, please say, but also have that conversation.
I feel like it should be an exclusive thing whereby you guys can answer anything. There's no limit to any question, I believe. Just because the reason I'm saying like that is because I don't want also for you guys to live with assumptions and not dig into the wrong questions and deep questions. Because this video is also about awareness. And awareness is not only to ourselves, it's also to people that are not albinism. So the way you will know is by asking questions you need to ask.
So what does it like? There's this common thing in the African culture, because when I work there, a family that, a parent who gives birth to an albino child, for example, as a result of the curse, they were somehow involved in witchcraft and such things. Now my concern was just like, imagine growing up with a thought, knowing you are a product of a curse. Have you guys heard of something like that? And how did that make you feel? I'm sure you've heard of it.
I heard about it, but it starts with the parents themselves. If they don't accept their daughter or their son the way he or she was born with albinism, then obviously that child will also grow up with that thing that I am a curse. And then if the parents showed love and kindness to the baby from birth, then there's no way that even if society tried to like, yo, you're a cursed, like your parents are cursed, that's why you're born like that. There's no way it's going to register in your mind, because the love that you got home is greater than what you're getting from society.
That's actually a very good point, because yesterday I met a guy at some shop. They also had albinism. So I was telling him about this program that we're doing today, and I was like, how was your life growing up for you? Like, did you feel different? Now that boy, that guy, is a young man, he's a young adult. It's like you can no concept of him being different because he is so. No one's like, you know what? To be honest, for me, it's just that unfortunately, one of the things was working. I had no concept. My environment did not even make me feel like, so it was just so normal. At the back of our minds, to be quite honest, we still have slightly, even if it's 2%, that thing like, do they slightly,
Just to add to that, it's also, I think that today, although it's still, I think it's inherited struggle. Because like the current story that you are talking about now is that the fact that in the period of times people did not understand why is this person different from me. So their reasoning in that time is that there's nobody on earth that is working that is like this, looking like this physically. So they are like it should be a curse. Like why would you, for instance, have black parents and you are born in a black family and you are white, then you must be a curse. So these are inherited struggles that today even in the modern world we still deal with it. Just because like people have not unpacked the concept of albinism, because they shy away from it. They just take what has been said already, and that is what they have into reality, which is not it. So I feel like even a platform such as this, where we can get a chance to unpack and be like, oh, okay, so this is why, or this is where it comes from. So it's not a curse, it's just that people do not relate to why is this person different from us. But also, I should let you know that people with albinism are not just born in that, they're also born in white families. So because it's a genetic thing, it's not really about like, oops, you are just right.
Do you think that is it the parents' fault for not accepting like you said, trans, it used to happen. Do you feel like parents need to be like educated about it for now?
Yeah, it's a very good answer. I feel like parents, it's actually not a parent's fault at times. It's also the reaction that parents get at the hospital. Like when she's delivering, giving birth, then the nurse will be like, oh my goodness, you gave birth to a white child. And then it registers in the woman's mind like, you guys, what am I going to do with this child? Then you see that when the mother is taking the baby for vaccination and stuff like that, you always shy the baby away, cover it with the blankets, and she will never have that pride of carrying the baby. But then maybe if we start off with the health workers by creating awareness with them or educating them, and then that way they can also educate the mothers like at the hospital when they are busy giving birth, and then that way that if the lady leaves home, if she leaves the hospital, she'll know that she received a little bit of information from the health givers or something like that. Because then it doesn't help me, the mother giving birth, and then I didn't receive any information. Just like back then in the days, our black parent society, they didn't have any information about albinism at all. But then even if they accepted their kids the way they were, they didn't have any knowledge on how to take care of them, how to, maybe President can add on it.
They had no reference to how to take care of less people. They had no reference to like, oh, let me go to my auntie, she knows how I should take care of my kid. So they were also direct victims when it comes to stigmatization and discrimination of their child. I can relate. My mother told me that when I was young, because of the sun, she would cover me. But people from the village would think she's hiding me. But it was not hiding me, it was covering me from the sun.
Right.
Because obviously also that time she did not even know that she can use sun lotion on me.
Yeah.
Or even if she knew she can use sun lotion on me. The sun lotion is expensive to just access it like that for, and it's an essential thing for people with alcohol. So I feel like the parents really has been also a direct victim when it comes to discrimination. And for those that really kept their kids myself also. Although that maybe my mom has never sit with me and talk like this is how it really made her feel, but I'm sure that somehow somebody will ask her, because there's this word in Oshuango, they refer to people that use ekishi. Now, so there's this lady that used to ask her like, oh, since you have a white child, doesn't she bite your dress because she's ekishi? Now, the word ekishi comes from animals. There were white animals, those days, right? And I think they were apparently bush animals, so they're wild animals. So those animals, because they are white, they are also like afraid of the sun, right? So they will only be seen in the night. And so I think because they did not have a name for us in our native languages, they related us to the closest thing, and that's why sometimes for sure people call us ekishi. But ekishi is actually it's an animal, it's not a human being. So I don't think there's actually a terminology, especially in Oshuango, to actually describe.
So that's not a real. It's just like derogatory word.
It's like black people that sometimes they are related to monkeys. Do you get that racist thing? So we are related to those wild animals because they are also white. So
It's a wild animal.
yeah. So now people think like it's because they are animals, they can eat you up. So it's probably we can also eat people.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yes.
For me, it's so crazy how people can just be so reckless in what they say, or why are people like that? It is mean.
Yeah.
It is really mean. It is insensitive. Just to say someone is even related to an animal.
Yeah.
I always think about the mindset. Fine, we all have our moments where we are not the nicest or the kindest person, but then it's just pure mean. How do you just say, that's really enlightening. That's crazy. So how was life growing up for you guys? Just your normal school, childhood, high school, your daily life, and so on.
Okay, my childhood, first of all, I think it was, I don't know how to describe it. But I think, number one, I think my parents loved me, let me just start there. But however, I was unconscious of being different. I did not know that I was sensitive to the sun. So what my dad would do sometimes is that when he goes to work, he would lock me in. In the house, because that time I was only staying in the north, I was in the north. So he would lock me in the house and go to work, but he would leave me with food and everything. So for me, I used to be like, why is this man locking me in the house? So I would jump through the window and go and play with my friends. And then before knock-off time, I tried to jump back, but then my skin betrayed me because I was burnt by the sun. And when he would come home, he would see that I was definitely playing in the sun. So in my primary school, I actually went to the school for the visually impaired, and that was not that intimidating, nor did I feel left out, just because there are also other learners that are like me, so it was easier to cope in the environment where people look like me. Yeah, it's just maybe adversity, college, that's a little bit hard. I think I was the only white one in my class also at my college. So for me, at first I was actually even saying, I'm not going to make any friends. I'll just come there, do what I'm supposed to do, get my degree and get out of there. But funny enough, most people that came into contact with me, they say that apparently they started seeing people that believe like it's a normal thing. And some of my college friends, they will sometimes even forget I'm white. So they'll be like, let's go where, and they want me to walk in the sun. I'm like, guys, I'm white. Like, I even forget you are white, So otherwise,
it's kind of like you forget. I had a colleague, that I used to work with. For me, it's like, I guess when you see something or you forget, and that's how life will be. It's not like, because you realize, apart from the skin, apart from your race or whatever, this is just a normal human. That's why things like that just disappear after a while. So I like the fact you mentioned something on the eyes, you mentioned something on the skin, and also you said something, you built up a wall. I'm just going to stay to myself. And I want to touch on relationships as a teenager and what. Did this
Did I date?
affect? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did you think, okay, but before that, let's just do what you tell us first.
Oh, I grew up. Well, for me, it was actually I grew up with my dad and my brothers. Yeah, I'm just is it a girl's, a boy's girl? I don't know.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, that is girl, because I just grew up with men.
So you are spoiled. You are the spoiled. I know those girls who grew up with
The dad.
lots of brothers and they're always
Yeah.
spoiled.
Yeah, so it was actually normal for me, but my dad will always emphasize like, don't play in the sun, don't do what, but I'm like, why am I not supposed to be doing that? And in the town where I grew up, I was actually the only person with albinism. Because I grew up in Arandas, and I think when I was in high school, that's when a little girl was born. So I felt like, why am I the only one that looks this way? But then people keep on cherishing me and they were like, that girl, yeah, Lucia, that kid. So I didn't really feel that
Yeah.
excluded
Yeah.
or discriminated. But the other thing is that just that this actually my skin, I actually thank my skin though, because I was a bit naughty and I would mess up with my brothers and they'll beat me. And then when daddy comes from work, he will see that no, these people were busy with my child.
With my child.
They were busy with my child, because then I'll be pink. I'll turn pink from white to pink.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, yeah, who beat you today? Then I'll be like, okay, the other one did not do something to me nice today. So, yeah. So I was actually also taking advantage of my condition, because I'll be treated special even if I don't deserve to.
And especially the fact that you are the only girl. Like, a princess among.
Yeah, now my sisters will still ask, because albinism also falls under persons with disabilities. Then my sister will ask me like, why are you categorized like that? If you're doing everything that we are doing, if we are working in the field, you do that, you just do everything in the same way that we are doing it. Why is it categorized as a disability? Because you guys are just cheating. You're not disabled or anything.
I think I can answer that.
Ne?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, you can answer that.
Actually, like the reason that albinism is under disability, the umbrella of disability, is not actually because of your skin, because you cannot say your skin is disabled. It's because we have characteristic of disability when it comes to low vision. You can also find people with albinism that they don't have an arm or a leg. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you have those characteristics of disabled. So that's why we are put under that category.
And this is a common thing, the characteristic.
It's very common. Most people with albinism actually have very low vision.
Really?
Actually, yeah. And that was also one of my struggles in college. That I could not associate.
Let me just add on that.
Yeah.
It's basically because of the lack of melamine. Yes, melamine.
Yeah.
Because then we don't have it in the skin, in the hair, and in the eyes. And so sometimes if you look closely in the eyes of a person with albinism, eyes are moving fast.
Okay.
Maybe you didn't notice it. Yeah.
So my question is, do you feel like discrimination contributes to like mental health illness?
Yeah, it does.
You told us about your brother and you know how you would manipulate the situation.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed that part. But yeah, the same thing. I went to high school. And it's different town because I grew up in Arandas and then I attended high school in Stockholm. So I also received the kind of good treatment. I wasn't treated differently from the rest because then it was not an inclusive school whereby students with disabilities and stuff like that were accommodated. It was just strictly for not for everyone. We are all non-disabled people because it has stairs, it doesn't have wheelchair users, accessibility and stuff like that. So it was just for non-disabled people. So I was just treated like the rest of the students. Now such a nice, beautiful nickname that I like that they gave me in grade 8, and I use it up to grade 12, Miss Bright. Because I was white, and they think like white is so bright, so I was Miss Bright. And yeah, I don't know why I didn't take up that name, but yeah.
You should take it up.
Miss Bright. Like if you go to Triple S now, then they'll be like, "Do you know Lucia?" No, we don't know Lucia. We know the brightest kid in Triple S. Yes. So I really had that nice treatment. Then when I came to university, everything was fine. It was cool. I was this first year that acted like the final year student, because I was so outspoken and I had that confidence. Like, yes, I am Dr. Liu, and yes, it's me. So I had that confidence. So I didn't really had certain encounters, but in my final year, yo guys, I don't know what's happening, but that's when people started now like, yeah, that albino girl, what is this word in Oshuambo? Okwishu nene. Like, say hope for after feel. And I was like, but what did I do?
And I think that is the way it comes to the difference of the environment. And I think where you are finding it a little bit hard to adjust now is because, as she said, she was used to the special treatment of princessy. And now it's college, and college, I have different people in college. It's not more your high school people, it's not more your father, it's not your brothers, it's not your siblings. So it absolutely puts you out there in a vulnerable
and that's the thing,
spot.
you know, people who lack confidence in themselves, now they want to project on you by calling out what they deem is your flaw.
Yeah.
She's albino anyway. Who does she think she is to act so confident, to be so bold, so big, so out there? They want you to play small. So now they want to call out or point out what they is a character flaw. No girl, no girl. I say it's not.
And I'm so proud that the fact that foundation was earlier, because now that you are grown and you're experiencing these things, the one thing is you cannot really, your foundation is strong for the fact that you came to university when you were already strong and confident, and your character was built before. So hopefully you will know how to handle it, then kick into depression or think that you are not enough.
So how does the situation make you feel, and how do you, like Adam, like how do you think discrimination leads to mental health?
Yeah, like it does.
How did it affect your mental health?
Especially this time that it actually happened this year, just a few weeks ago. Somebody just like characterized me like, yeah, you albino girl, and that and that and that. I was like, but what did I do to deserve this? And then I really felt bad by that time, because she texted me, and then she still had the guards to call me and rub it into my ears like, yes, you albino girl. And I was like, okay. So I didn't respond. I just hanged up, and then she called again, and then I didn't answer. And then I called my sister, and then I told her about it, and then she was like, don't worry about it, because anyways, you are proud that you are a person with albinism, you carry your pride with you everywhere you go, so why do you have to mind about it? And then she called me again. I was still sad, but then she called me, and then I'm like, so what's with you, me being a person with albinism? Anyways, I'm proud that I'm a person with albinism. That's why you will see me on campus walking and roaming around with everybody, because I'm proud and I'm happy.
The fact that your parents have already accept you for who you are, and your home people.
And I think also, just to say, to add to that, I think that your purpose is also linked to being albino.
Absolutely.
If you were black, you probably would not be operating the purpose that God has sent you. So you being an albino is, can I say, deliberate?
Yes.
Because God doesn't make mistakes, and that's why we are called God's masterpieces. Because you absolutely, the impact and influence that you're supposed to be that you're supposed to have in the world is based on you being a person with albinism. Just take it like that, and not everybody will like you.
I always say, you know what I tell people is like, oh, you know, who doesn't like you, who doesn't like you? I'm like, it's okay, it's okay. I know, I'm used to it. The devil also doesn't like me, Same WhatsApp group.
Same WhatsApp group.
I couldn't be bothered. Same WhatsApp group. And I mean, if you are liked by everyone, just like it means you are on the same track with the devil or something. You can't just be. You will,
And I also experienced something like that people were saying to me, like they were trying to narrate that being albino is like a weakness. Yeah, because somebody, like, I think there's somebody that was trying to ask me out and stuff like that. So just because I'm an albino, I also have my limits and my standards and my principles and my values. And this person was like, you as a person with albinism now, it's like, that's why you are alone, you know? That's why you're not dating, because now I'm albinism and I'm not now dating this supposedly people. I told them you should never
accept anyone that comes
asking you out.
Exactly. I said, no, my standards, it's not you I want. I don't care about white, black people. I still do not want you. And imagine if he's capable of saying things like that, and this is the person that you're supposed to date, meaning he's already seeing you being different as a problem, and he's trying to wrap it off so you can try to be insecure. And unfortunately, he faced somebody that's not insecure about themselves. I know who.
Thank you, Jesus. I know who I am. I know who I am, and that is so important. Just in general in life, you know, it is in knowing your identity and establishing who you are. Confidence, worth, identity. I am a Christian woman, so I always make reference to my identity in Christ, who God says I am. You know, fearfully and wonderfully made. I formed it before the foundations of the predestined. You know, I'm a queen. And all of this. Who is telling me that, guys, you know who God is? Creator of the universe. And God is not the universe, but creator of the universe. Bigger, greater than the universe. He took the time, my identity, to make me
in His image.
He decided my skin is like this,
Exactly.
my eyebrows are like this, my nose, that is His fingerprint. That's why my thumbprint is not like any other. Imagine that. Wow. So you want to come tell me what? Well, the God of the universe who created this, just look around at all these trees, the hills, the what.
Just by the word.
When you look at that, that's like a masterpiece of art. And He deemed me worthy to be one of those creations. And you can't even create you can't even draw something. You can't draw a picture of someone with just a stick. No, please. Boy, girl, bye. We need to establish ourselves in identity, affirm yourself, do not seek external validation, and let people say what they want to say.
I think that comes with education. It's much more important to know, like, if you are educated, you won't just let anyone to step in your ground and tell you who you are. You should know who you are.
Absolutely. Education really empowers the mind. And just to add to the dating thingy, I feel like dating for me personally have been hard. Number one, because some people's intention towards you to date you is not genuine. Number two, sometimes you will date somebody, but then the people around the person will not be accepting of you because you are different. So now you're also victimizing the other person because you are with them. So it's not easy to actually choose a partner, because number one, you need somebody that's strong-minded to say that, okay, I'm dating somebody different. I chose this person, and hopefully you're also hoping that what other people say will not influence his mindset about you, because these are real things. Like for instance, like you are dating somebody and everybody is like, maybe let me say they're going for a dinner date or double date or whatever, and this person wants to bring you with, but because of the conversations they have heard prior to that, they'll probably prefer that they will not bring you, not because they don't want you there, just because they also don't want you to experience that energy of not being wanted or accepted. So dating, I don't think it's easy. the other thing is also that we are believed sometimes to cure HIV and AIDS. So what if this person is dating you because they think like sleeping with you would cure them? And not only that, dating is also very vulnerable for us because imagine people sell people, eh? So imagine if your boyfriend is going to sell you because you trust this person with you. Even if it's not your boyfriend, this person is for your husband to be. So what if one day his intentions is going to be broken? It's like, but I have money. It's like you are trusting somebody with your life also. You need somebody that also has to be protective over you. At the same time, somebody that you have to trust because it's very sensitive. You don't know who to trust. Yeah,
Sure. That's crazy.
and not only that, you still have to meet the family. Now you don't know. You know.
So guys, you touched on a few things. Yes, we've heard things like the cure of HIV is the first time I hear of that.
A girl was actually kidnapped and raped by somebody with HIV. Just check. Imagine. Yeah.
And then they also have this thing that apparently persons with albinism would satisfy you in bed.
Hey, come on, it tastes different. So that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes people approach you to want to sleep with you and not for the intentions to actually have you as their partner in life. So sometimes it's like you're testing ground because they want to test you, yet they don't want to have you as their partner because they are scared of what society will say. But they want to go brag that, I slept with who is that person.
That's crazy. That is crazy. And intense. Sure.
So easy.
Yeah, you guys touch on all these different myths, like all these things that are associated with it. What about this now of the body parts being sold? And is it maybe yeah, we've heard of stories like that, but you guys think you are in danger of being abducted because people have this belief if they get your body part, you are an income from it. You heard that?
Yeah,
And
I actually did my research on that. My research was based on the policy landscape and institution that protects people with albinism. Just because there was a rise in cases, people with albinism being neglected for their body parts, and obviously that does leave a fear in you, and that's why I'm like, even when it comes to dating, you need to trust your partner. What if he's going to sell you, these kind of things, and like, what if you are just walking on the street and somebody like that? So these things happen because I feel like, especially in other Western countries, like there are people that literally break into households to get somebody with albinism. That's how far they are willing to go just to get your body part. And literally, there's also the story of a boy. He's from Tanzania, I think. And his father saw him. They were having dinner, and the father just pretended to stand up and say, he's coming now. And the people came in and they cut his arm. So it's scary. You're like, okay, who are you mingling with? Is the environment I'm in, is it safe for me? Because like, and that's why I'm saying I think it's very important to unpack the concept because this myth really is taking a lot of lives, and not that it's also limiting and depriving us of living our potential life and living fearlessly. Because you always have to be on the guard, and sometimes it's not easy to tell whether the person's intention is pure or not pure.
Now, that's something that happened out of Namibia, so they will think that such things don't happen in Namibia because it's a democratic one and it's, But then I think it was in the month of March or April where in Namibia, here in Bantu, a guy was approached for his nails and hair.
To sell it to them.
Exactly. Imagine in winter where we are right now. Things are happening.
Yeah, and I think the thing about we Namibians is, I think we don't document a lot of these stories, but there are actually stories that, because I remember somebody also telling me that there was also a girl that people went to beat up. I think it was in the north, just for not being a gynecologist doing the hair. So actually stories that we haven't heard or they are not important.
Okay.
What do you think the government is not taking into consideration?
I feel like they're not. For me, really the Namibian government, when it comes to protecting the rights of people with albinism, I feel like they want to see somebody actually get taken, you know. But I feel other African countries, my research is they really have institutions that protect the rights of people with albinism. They literally have, what do you call these homes? I don't know. It's like literally like this other lady. She was still found in her house, and I think they took her up. So she had to separate from her family to live, and it's like a protective home because
Like an asylum.
yeah, because she's not safe in the neighborhood. So I don't know, and I really researched, and I found that there's no policies that protect. No, it's the institutions. There is like non-governmental organization that advocates for the rights of people with albinism, but how far can they go? Because also running these organizations, you need money, you need to provide resources for those people. And how do we just create a safe environment in the country for people with albinism to be living freely? Yes, we are free, but okay, I feel like to a certain extent, just because I feel like people are being ignorant of what's happening. So people think like it's not happening, but there are things that are happening that people are actually not aware of.
So what would I say? You mentioned also you want to start an organization or you are in the process of starting. What and you also mentioned purpose. Sometimes God puts us in a certain scheme or environment for your purpose.
Yeah.
So you feel obviously that this is your life's calling, your purpose. So what do you envision? How if you were to anyone is watching, for example, you know, and they say the Bible says, I believe in this. Put the vision down, right? Write your vision down so that he who sees it will run with it. So you write your vision down, you probably say, oh, this. One guy just come, oh, okay, let me show you. Here's my plan and what. I run it because I have the resources. God always brings somebody. This is one of my favorite sayings. Sometimes we think, in life we don't beg someone to assist you, but I always believe that God will touch the heart of somebody somewhere to use their power, ability, and influence to help me prosper. Forget about begging you what. I might identify that, I know we are a good link up for whatever our life's purpose because we are so in sync with a lot of things, but I cannot force you too much, you know? And God will say, okay, fine, this one is stuck on stupid. Let me get another one to help this one. Because I'm like, God, I see it. We are so aligned, but what can you do? It's another person's will involved. That's why I always believe there's the perfect will of God and there's the permissive will. So it's okay. You stay stuck on stupid, but God will touch the heart of somebody, some way to use the power, ability, and influence to help this prosper. So if you were, what do you envision? What do you desire to do if this organization will come? What do you want to do for this organization? If there's someone who shares the same passion, say, let's hit up Rosalia. Let's talk about this and take this thing further.
Number one, just to normalize albinism. I don't want to get into a place and be like, who's that? And it's not a positive like who's that, it's a negative who is that. And I just want to normalize so that when I come home, like I'm even sitting with Lucia, people are always like, oh, those two white people are sitting together, like hello. Two black people are also sitting across us, but it's not an So I want it to be normalized, for me I always say, please, I don't want people to have the pity syndrome around the concept of albinism. Yes, I do recognize that I'm different, but so is everybody different. God did not make us the same, though He did make us humans, one identity as human beings. But to be honest, characteristics are different. The way we look, our physical features are different, our hearts are different, our visions are different. So if we can just embrace our differences and say, okay, she's right, so what, But if you do see me in the sun, Rose, why are you in the sun? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's not a difference when somebody speaks from a place of genuine and when somebody speaks from a place of not being genuine. Like, I can maybe diss Lucia, like, oh, Lucia, you are four-eyed, for example.
Yeah.
But it comes from a place of genuinity. I don't mean to dislike her disability of not her seeing. I mean, me myself also cannot see. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just a relatable difference that we have together. So, and I also really want people with albinism to be engaged in society. And because I see the thing is, because of this rejection of people not coming around that albinism is normal, we are cut out of society. And when you are cut out of society, you do not live on your full potential because you come to the table and you're scared to voice out your concerns because people will demise you or feel like it's undervalued, although it can even be of value. You can be speaking, right? And I can be speaking something of value, but they would rather hear the same words come out of your mouth, but because you are what they can relate to, they think it's important, but sometimes they're like, I just say it's the same thing, you know? So normalizing and just valuing who we are in society, because I also feel like I'm so tired of fighting to be in spaces of society. Like, we are part of society and we are functional citizens, you know? And I just feel like it takes away from us when people do not recognize either our work or whatever that we are doing just because we are different. And you're just like, you know, and I just also want people to see that it's just not in a specialization of me being a person with albinism, meaning like my capacity only surrounds albinism or maybe only surrounds disability. I can be a person with albinism and I can be an IT technician, I can be a news reader, I can be whatever that it is. So, but the problem in society, they now limit you like, this one, maybe she doesn't know business. We will just call her to forums that have to do with disability. This one probably doesn't know politics. She just has, you know. So it's like it limits you into a box, but you're like, I have so much potential, but because the environment is not allowing you to flourish, it's so hard to always try to prove yourself. You know, it gets exhausting that you are capable, you are knowledgeable, you have the capacity, you have the skills. But once when people start seeing you as a normal person, they start also respecting you, the value and what you bring to the table, besides what they think you are.
And on what you are saying, it's in a case whereby when I was grade 12, now that time that you have to do career guidance and checking like, no, do I qualify to go to UNAM or I want to go study what and stuff like that. So I was saying that no, after grade 12 I'll apply to NAMT. NAMT is basically mining and Then they were thinking, you can't go work in the mine, like you're too sensitive, and then in the mine they deal with, what is this? Because I grew up in Arandas, right? It's uranium. And then the radiation and the what, it's going to affect you, and you can't even do technical work. So you deserve to be a secretary and just sit there. But actually not even sit, maybe just take minutes and then give them over to somebody else, because you can't sit in front of a computer because of your low vision. And there are just a lot of things that are limiting one from doing certain things. But I feel like you can still do it, even though like we get specs, but then I don't know what those people do, but they have limits to brightness and they get darker, they do what. There's just, technology is here to help us to do a lot of things.
That come from a place of safety.
Yeah, it comes, but it's still, if you are passionate about it, there are still things that can help us to do it. Just like they say that we can't walk in the sun, right? But then we have sunscreen. So if I put on my sunscreen, I can walk in the sun, or an umbrella. So if they're saying that the brightness from the computer is going to mess up with my eyes, I can put on specs lights that limit the brightness that can enter through my eyes. So technology is there to help us. So we can't be limited to anything.
Unless they are saying maybe there's no other way to go around the work that you are doing. But one thing that I think also even employees should ask anybody, not just albinism, anybody with disability is, what is it that we can provide to you for you to perform at your full potential in this workplace? Because sometimes you really have the best skills, but all you probably need is, as you said, glasses or small things. But now people see you as a liability, like, oh, how are you going to perform? Oh. But it's just also they're not in their company.
Yeah.
But really, those people are capable, or they have the capacity and the skills for this organization. And I think one of the most important questions that they should ask people with disability in an organization is that, what is it that you need for you to operate at your full potential, for you to be an asset to this company, and not just disregard you because of your disability, because this is the person that this organization actually might need.
Yeah.
And it's just small things like specs, it's just small things like enlarging my font, it's just small things like being able to have an office downstairs where I can access my wheelchair. It's small things, it's not things. I feel like you can gain more than lose more from disregarding the person.
And that's so important. So this is especially important for human capitalists, HR practitioners, all those people in that capacity. We like the idea or ideology of diversity and inclusion, but do we really do the work? We've got the best person here, but this person has a disability. You can make provision, just provide the necessary specs, the spectacles they might need, the accessibility downstairs, even an office downstairs or whatever they would need. But because of laziness, we don't want to do extra, what you think is extra work. We just like the ideology on our, on our vacancies. When we release posts, for example, we're encouraging people, please apply. Like she mentioned something, but is it just for face value? It's just for show. Any mental health issues you guys have had, as a result of maybe. But I think we've established, you've had quite a strong foundation, strong support system, and you also know that when you step into university, you will find until the final year, the fourth year, where someone wanted to come against you because of your confidence, and now they're like, who do you think you are to be so confident? But you are albino. So was your mental health somehow impacted? You almost,
I felt better that moment, because I was now questioning myself, like, why me and why this time, and who does that person think she is, just to come and ruin my empire. No, you just can't come in my empire and say, no, you just can't do that. So it was a bit of a struggle, because I cried, but I made peace with it. But then I have a friend of mine, it's actually a guy, but he still goes through this whole thing, like, why am I living with albinism? Why is this happening to me? So his esteem is still low, and there was a time whereby he just became alcoholic, because he thought like he will find peace when he's drunk, like
trying to numb the pain.
Yes, because he will be drinking and then he will feel better afterwards, and then I'm like, why are you trying to just build your self-confidence and self-esteem and stuff like that? And then I was like, it's not gonna help. I'm already old, so what's the point of me trying to be confident if I'm already old? So it's just better that I drink and I die. And it was horrible. And then I'm like, but why? No, it's because of my skin color. Girls don't want me, and I mean, I have to be wearing a head, so my sweat won't just be on point because of the head. It's like, there's much bigger, not like bigger issues, because what I think is big for you is small to me. So, I mean, like, mental issues are there, but then the way we tackle them, I don't know how, like, for other people, like for me, I sit down, I cry, and after crying, I'm fine. But then for some people, like for the friend of mine that I mentioned earlier, he will find his peace in alcohol, which will cause more harm to him than just sitting down or talking to somebody and getting maybe a new fashion style or something. Because it's like, I can't wear everywhere. I have to wear and to protect myself. The girls don't want me. Then obviously you just get somebody that will want you. You get ahead, or maybe if you want to wear LS or whatever, there are floppies. There are just so many things that you can do. Like if you straight yourself. And then that discrimination again, and then it's like, whenever I'm walking in the street and then they have to shout names at me, or they'll be like, let me feel you, how soft is your skin, or how hard is it, if I do this to you, what will happen? Because I remember a friend of mine used to call me fingerprint, because if you do this, and there's, so they'll be like, but then it's all about how we accept things that people are saying to us. If the person uses that negative energy to like, you, and yell at me, obviously I will feel bad, but then if I'm strong enough, or the foundations that we have, they are strong enough, then it's not going to break me down. But then people are different, it's the same. The mental issues are there, and the way we tackle them are just different. That's why I thought Rosalind's foundation idea will really do, because when you are hurt, you can probably go to the foundation, you'll find this sweet support group, support group, and then you exactly somebody that can relate and like, okay. And then now there are no support groups that you can go to. Yeah, there's a group, there's a WhatsApp group that we check.
I was saying that I think that it's very important when it comes to media platforms that we see people that we can relate to when it comes to movies, short films. When it comes to people being on the TV, news presenters, it's always just nice to have reference to somebody you can look up to, even a mentor, and even the beauty industry. I'm laughing because she actually texted me on Facebook to be her mentor. We never met. Yeah, we never met, and she was saying
it's just being referred like, go use Fabo Farm, use Fabo Farm, use Fabo Farm. So they won't even want to buy something, a beauty product, or let me say foundation, to go put on themselves, because then the models that are there, it's only a super dark skinned girl, light brown skinned girl, then comes the white girl, but not a white girl with albinism, because I'm also white. Yes. So not a white girl with albinism, so they will not feel like they should use it. But then because we are curious and we want to try out new things, we'll buy them and just put them on. But then they are not really there to represent us as well. So beauty companies or beauty, I don't know, whatever, they can maybe just also have few models with albinism or something, just to demonstrate, or to, so that these young girls can also look up to them. They'll be like, I'll be
see
like Dr.
myself.
Lu. Yes.
And talk about dolls, things like dolls growing up playing,
Yeah, we'll play with white dolls, but not a doll like you can
Albany,
exactly. So it's just so weird. We should actually create things there that anybody else can relate to. That way we will not feel excluded. Because I'll be like, no, mommy, I want a doll that looks like me. Now if I have to get a doll, the doll looks more like her than me. So I'll also feel like
it's like how when you were little, your mom buys you a Barbie doll, a white doll. It's like that's why sometimes you grow up thinking your kinky hair is not as beautiful. You think, one thing, Winnie Harlow, the lady from America, the one with vitiligo, like the one with the spots. Winnie Harlow, what she has done for that community by her confidence and resilience. She's a model. She's just an advocate. So many young children and even grown are now free to be because of what she has done, her confidence. Because a lot of times people want to tell you, okay, it's okay, act like this, but not too much. We accept you, but only if you act to this. That lady was like, listen, she's fine, she's a bit, she cusses and what, but still she's like, I'm going to live my truth. Now, just because I have this person, you feel you have pity on me, I should not be as free as I want, as expressive and whatever. So, representation matters. So, NBC media, please guys. Think about these things. These are important points. We sing inclusion, diversity, inclusion.
Right, yeah.
It's like some of these words just become like
They
redundant,
throw it
just empty
around.
words,
Yeah.
That are just there
And
because
you find some people saying they're working on projects that have to do with disability, and
Yeah.
it makes me catch feelings because I take it very personal. This person is just saying, but you're like, then where's the work? Then why is there still a gap in here?
Yes. Also, with Ms. Rosalia, I would also just want you to drop a contact number because I'm sure there are people who watch this broadcast who want to support and others who want to reach out to you, like Dr. Lou did for mentorship.
Yeah. Okay,
you
so
know.
for me, let me just get to say that, guys, let's normalize albinism because it's normal. And anybody can be born with albinism. And I always say albinism is one of the things that is not racist because I am from a black family yet I look white, or somebody is from a white family yet they're also albinism. Like, how do you judge? So I just want to say normalizing albinism and not underestimating the value and the capacity and the skills that people with albinism have, and also that it's not a curse, and that this myth surrounding that we can heal HIV, guys, it's not even like that. Handle is just Rosalind Joseph. My Instagram handle is still Rosalind Joseph. So if you see a white lady with blonde hair in a green dress, that is me. And yes, let's create more platforms such as this whereby we can really unpack for us to understand the concept surrounding albinism, because the things that I hear, gosh, sometimes it's really just laughable, but sometimes you're like, yo, so this is really what's in the mind of people. And when we don't talk about these things, this is how exactly it's going to remain. So we really need platforms such as this to talk and express and help our people and really protect the human rights when it comes to people with albinism. They are such a vulnerable group, they are such a risk group, and I feel like really society do limit who we are, and to potentially just to live freely and contribute to society with whatever that we can contribute in our different areas. We are just not combined to me being an albinism. I just don't specialize in albinism, by the way. Like, I love politics, so those are just an extra thing to say that, okay, she's also knowledgeable in this sphere instead of just
Well, since my address is for young girls with albinism, my message for the people with albinism community is like, stand out and be the first version of yourself. There was never somebody like you, and there'll never be somebody like you. You are the first version of yourself, and it's for you to stand up and make yourself proud. Create a name for yourself, create that empire for yourself, because charity starts from home. It starts from yourself. Like, if you love yourself and you acknowledge yourself, then obviously society won't be able to break you down. And then for our beautiful Namibia, it's like, let's normalize albinism. The only difference between me and her is that she has high melamine and I don't have that. But we are the same, like, we are both girls, and so let's just we are just the same. So this thing of, nah, I'm not gonna chill with her because she's living with albinism, it's not gonna work. We are living in a harambe community. What is this? Society.
Nobody should be left out.
Yeah, nobody should be left out. So yeah, that's it. You can follow me on Instagram as well. My IG handle is Lou and Kono.
Lou and Kono.
Yeah, the
That's
white
one
lady there with denim and
To conclude, I think it's very important to, like the name RAKS says, it's very important to treat each other with kindness, because at the end of the day, kindness is all we have. And if we are not united, we will, separate, and separation is not okay. So we need to stand united in everything that we do, whether it's in workplaces, whether it's in just in different places. We just need to work together. And I think we should stop the stigmatization and discrimination of just not in the case of albinism, but in every case we should just stop this discrimination, because it will not work at all. It will cause division in people and in areas.
So I can't say much. Everything has been said, but in conclusion, just like my fellow activist said, guys, let's just be kind. Again, it is not just an ideology. This is the hope for humanity. Treat another person as you would want to be treated. Love your neighbor as yourself, and just stay away from stereotypes, stigmatizations, and those things. Do your research. There was a meme that I saw on social media about a woman who would put a turkey or a chicken in the oven a certain way, and they would just cut certain parts of the turkey all the time and do it. And then the husband stood one day and said, "Babe, why do you do this thing the way you do it?" "I don't know, my mother did it. My mom did it this way." And then she thought about it and asked her mother, "Why do you do the thing you do that way?" And then the mother said, "I don't know, my mom did it that way." And then she asked the mother, and so it goes. You don't even know why you say the things you say, or why you repeat the things you are repeating. It's just because it's fables and tales that have passed on from generation to generation with no truth to it, no substance. It was just a figment of one's imagination.
And funny enough, sorry, the story was that apparently those times they were making ovens that the chicken could not fit.
Yes.
So now imagine
exactly.
that.
Now we are in a generation where technology is just, it allows you to put in the whole chicken with the whole, you are still cutting the legs, they don't need to be cut. So sometimes it's really the mindset and the mentality. You are stuck, like I said earlier, stuck on stupid, you are stuck on a primitive mindset. So you are stuck there just because you don't even know. So read up on things, guys. And we've got information at our disposal. You don't have to be someone who is just dumb. Information is a lot. Read up, educate yourself, empower yourself, develop yourself. Yes, maybe it's not even that you need to be a university student or whatever, but you've got internet that is the same information that a university student or whatever has at their disposal. So don't refuse to be that person that says things because it came from generations and generations and what. Do your own research. And in fact, for us who are Christian, we've got the Holy Spirit with us. You ask him, he's your counselor, he's your helper, he's your advocate, he's your... Imagine the Spirit of the Most High God. He lives in you. Ask, be knowledge about certain things. And yeah, the bottom line is just be kind, guys. Regard the feelings of other people. Don't just be reckless with your words and your actions and just say things randomly. And stop projecting your fears on people. Just because you don't know how to handle someone who's different from you, now you fear. And now you are intimidated, by someone who looks different. Now you want to project it by calling out what you think is a flaw. You are being who do you think you are to act so big, be so big, and go? Guys, we need to stop that. We need to stop that. Just be kinder, really. This kindness concept is not just that. It is really the hope we have for humanity. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining the RAKS team. We love you
for having us.
We love you so much, and it was It was really nice meeting you.
I felt
guys.
very comfortable.
Yeah.
I think that's why I was not talking a lot.
You were,
You
no, but
spoke
she,
a lot.
Don't lie.
she is deep. Like, you guys are both deep. I will not leave you guys. I don't know what you guys
Don't leave us.
In fact, guys, one last question before we go. Like, things like donation of blood. I know this, I will sound a bit slow.
Yeah.
But you guys do things like that, donate blood?
Yeah. Because the blood is just the same.
The blood is
We don't have different blood, guys. It's the same blood.
Okay,
so if you
okay.
have blood and you are healthy, you
Yeah,
can
okay,
donate.
okay. No, I was just saying that
Yeah.
because,
Those are just the things.
no, I mean, us and we
You need to ask.
Yeah, RAKS is collaborating with the Namibian Blood Transfusion Services, and next week is also World Blood Donor Day, and they invited us to the Grove Mall to come and participate and blah 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 for those who are blood donors. So even in your community, if you have some who are willing to, please give me a call, join me, I'll get them a t-shirt, and there would also be a nice representation of everyone. So if you can have a white skinned girl there or boy, join us there because we're also going to be recorded. So that's your invite. And I officially be also activist, and going forward we will support you where we can, and we will not leave this here. And even our beauty queen, we are going to look into those blonde lashes, my dear, in the so thank you so much.
Thank you
That's
for
a
having
wrap.
us.
It's a wrap.
We are the Rectory.
We are activists.
That's why I stop.